Shen ban. They want to start to shrink that tank pool now.
Of course, they no longer need to play the Camille mind game. They're like, okay, you ban it out, great, pressure done. You get removed Shen, and then Misfits, they could honestly, they can trade Lee Sin for a Lee, so they could technically go for like an early Fizz top, but obviously it has counter still. Maybe just Rumble top lane could be strong here for Alphari.
Oh, looks like a bit of a shift in the meta, Krepo. Fizz top will be the priority. Now we'll see. Does sOAZ have a counter up his sleeve? Does he have something to deal with the Fizz?
What do you even play? I feel like Gnar is a decent matchup into Fizz, but I hate to be wrong here. But I feel like any range bullies, Kennen top would be okay to Fizz too, but certain player on Fnatic has what they call dibs on that AD Kennen.
What they call dibs. All right, well, we'll see. Maybe this time around sOAZ can make a compelling argument to keep that on the top side of the map. Please, sir, I would like to win the lane. Matey carry.
Rekkles. Could I please have the shuriken?
Broxah, luckily, jungle champion pool not quite as contested on the Fnatic side. No one trying to play Lee Sin, at least not yet. We'll get his hands on it again in the jungle. So once again, early priority and comfort here on the side of Fnatic.
Yeah, and jungle AD carry is what I expect Misfits to pick up here. Next.
Rengar coming out. Shift away from the Elise strategy, no longer quite as worried. Was it banned
last game? I feel like it was banned, because it's one of those stronger side lane gank champions. Because obviously in split push, what you can do with Rengar is lurk in the lanes, and once the lanes become very long, you can just stealth in, and once the duel is started, it's so hard for a lot of these top lane champions to get out of the duel. Rengar will just join in the surprise, leap in, and get the kill, and then suddenly your top laner can still TP out.
It's just good to have. You now see two laners with CC setup. Makes it easy for their Rengar to come in, even in the earlier levels.
Yeah, a bit of a shift here on Drakos. The Syndra locked in early. PowerOfEvil say, you know what? You're done squeezing my champion pool. I'm just going to pick one of the most broken champions that you can blind pick. In the Syndra, Orianna is out, and he's playing into LeBlanc, but I honestly still prefer the Syndra right there.
And last time we saw Caps really go off on this LeBlanc, it was against Perks on the Syndra, but late game it didn't matter. And PowerOfEvil, if he can play to that same level, it may be the same case where Caps finds something in the mid game, but late game, the zone control of Syndra is just too strong.
And even now, if Fnatic win the split push, there are 3 decisive engaged champions on the Misfits that can still force a fight, right? And I think that is a great plan B to have in your lineup.
And we look at it too. Once again, 1-3-1. The setup, double TP on the side of Fnatic. No double TP for Misfits. They've got a strong mage in the mid lane. But we have some interesting bans coming out in the second wave. Trundle taken off the board.
If you want to learn about counters to unconventional picks, just watch the second man phase. Because Trundle, it makes sense, right? He is really good in proximity. When Fizz double E's out, he gets pillared in front of him, and then he has nowhere to go. And Trundle has really strong trades in proximity, so he just auto-Qs the Fizz, steals some of the damage, and it suddenly becomes really hard to play that Bork Fizz into a Trundle who can also steal resistances. So it used to be one of the strongest kind of counter melee matchups in the top lane. And Misfits say, you know what, don't want to deal with it.
I mean, to be fair, it's still been the case. We've seen, I believe, Visit Chachi pick it up once. It's not going to provide nearly as much to the team in those fights outside of a tank meta, but it does offer a lot.
And now, the double Ashe Caitlyn ban, is Rekkles just going to pick Varus here and give the Kennen to
they've already banned Varus away. I mean, what is left? Is it just trying to set up the Kennen so he can secure a winning lane?
I think so, yeah. With that in mind, obviously, I really need to start looking at third ban here.
There's 5 now, Krepo. I know it's hard to keep up. There's a lot more pictures.
But just an Ezreal pick safely being played in the bottom lane. Or I want to see the Hans Kalista, but Kalista's actually really bad into AD Kennen.
Yeah, but then we could see Gwynsu's Rage Bait Kalista again.
No. That's done. That is such a horrible item.
Han says it's a personal preference. Says it's still good. We'll see. We'll see.
Not going to disagree with Hansama on air. I'm just going to presume he's going to pick the Ezreal on D8.
Just smile and nod. Not sure what he wants to pick here, but at the end of the day...
He wants to pick the Ezreal.
I think he wants to pick the Draven. I think Hussein is back there like, yeah, so...
Draven's really hard. But again, Draven's not that great into AD Kenny. Any of these single target like auto attack champions, they are so prone to getting stuck into just auto trades with a Kennen, at which point he WQs you and you're stunned. You can't pick up your axe, you're done for. Like again, Kennen plays fine into Draven and Kalista.
A lot of safety here on the bottom side of the map. You got the Karma, you've got the Ezreal. This is kind of an old school Fnatic classic back when Yellowstar returned to the team.
All right. I was about to say I really hope this Nautilus is support, because putting sOAZ, oh boy.
Wait, we've seen people lose this matchup. We've seen solo kills. We saw it yesterday. Expect versus Foxy on the top side of the map. We saw solo kills on each side.
You can only win this if your jungler helps you. So in that sense, if you go Zyra Kennen bot, automatic pressure, LeBlanc should be fine. Broxah needs to save sOAZ.
Well, you said someone had to sacrifice this game if Fnatic wanted to succeed, and right now it looks like it's sOAZ.
They do bring hard engage, and he can group with the team too, but he will fall super far behind. And late game, he will be forced to match, right? Teleport versus teleport. A very tough matchup for him, so I really hope that Misfits don't get the opportunity to give sOAZ a direst treatment here. Fnatic need to help him.
Absolutely. Now they have some tools to do so in the early Lee Sin. Maybe a little bit more mobile, a little bit stronger than that Rengar pre-6, but a lot of pressure on Broxah, and it was KaKAO last game who was always in the right place at the right time.
And now it's Hansama who also has to show up and say, you know what, a couple of bans thrown my way, can I deal with it? Ezreal Karma, super safe lane, but it'll still likely lose pressure to perceive just all-in trades by Rekkles and Jesiz. Can the Misfits bot lane survive under pressure? Is it going to influence KaKAO's jungle pathing? He can't be as active 1-6, right? This is Rengar. He can't just force these ganks like Elise, which means Fnatic have a unique window 1-6 and even on the 6 with the kick to really snowball the early game.
A lot of pressure on this lineup. Misfits once again playing for pride. Fnatic playing for everything. Be the first time this organization had missed playoffs. Guys, if you want to vote, if you want to participate, at LO Esports on Twitter is the place. Hashtag FNC win.
Or hashtag ROC win, of course, for the Misfits.
Oh, Krepo. Will be Rockcat contesting them for that playoff spot. We'll find out who's going to go as we make our way into this game too.
You don't even have to say anything, Drakos. They start clapping for you.
They're good. They know. They've been here.
They've been well trained.
Loyal Fnatic fans ready and cheering. Ladies and gentlemen, Game 2, playoffs on the line.
How would you train a crowd? Would you do it like Pavlovian?
Pavlovian.
You ring a bell, they clap.
Have people that come out with
you give
swag.
them poros. Eventually you bring the bell out and they start clapping because they expect the poros.
And then we take the poros away.
Then you take it away.
Oh.
Oh, that's Rekkles. But look around. What's that coming around the side? It's Jesiz.
Now moving for a little bit more. Damage going down. Once again, we see this every time Fnatic have the Zyra on the bottom side of the map. They're ready to fight for that plant control.
Yep. Now Jesiz can plant all the seeds he wants. Good roam from Caps. Now Broxah, he's the man to watch. And we got a few interesting stats in terms of Broxah. Broxah, he didn't do too much last game. He had 23.6 jungle proximity for his team. He dealt less than 3k damage in the entire game, of which more than half of that 3,000 was done in the last team fight of the game, which means for the majority of the game, Broxah did roughly between 1,000 and 1,500 damage on the Lee Sin. Now, I do not think that's his own fault. I think it's a communication issue, and it's really hard, seems, for him to synergize with his lanes and find an opening. Hopefully they can fix this, because he needs to have an impact on this Lee Sin.
Yeah, because that is 0 impact, Krepo. 3k damage is so low, and he cannot afford to have that kind of performance again, because he doesn't have the luxury of 3 lanes that can be very back and forth, right? Where he can be the influencer, but individual skill may play a factor. There's a Nautilus who is destined to lose if he does not impact on the map.
And last game, we tracked the difference between jungle proximity, between KaKAO and his top laner Alphari, and then Broxah and sOAZ, and there was a 10% difference right there. Basically, it means KaKAO was camping top lane, Broxah was not. And we obviously saw the result of that, which put sOAZ in a losing matchup, and he was the guy that has to deal with the split push, and now he has to do it again in the losing matchup.
Once again, these small differences add up right now, Alphari.
The change up push, Drakos. Look at him looking for it. This is what Fnatic need. This needs to pay off. This is the moment that will decide the game. If they can get the kill, it can be so big.
No flash for the Fizz. Alphari has been locked up. He's trying to dive out. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it. Broxah taking his time on the Sonic Wave.
He has to wait for the flash. And he finds it.
First blood. Resonating strike. The auto attack. That's the start Fnatic needed.
Did not instantly Q, because if then Alphari flashes, well, actually he doesn't have flash. Never mind. I lied. He's playing Ignite. That was a great gank. There goes my rationale.
Gets it in the end.
And that's honestly hubris from Alphari. You can't play Ignite Fizz and then not expect to get level 2 ganked in a professional game when everything relies around split push.
But you said it yourself, 10% difference. Broxah did not exist in that top lane. Alphari doesn't even remember what it looks like to play against a jungler after game 1.
Guys, where's amazing? It's Broxah now, Alphari. No. He's back.
Oh, no.
Once again,
there's no flash. There's
he should
no
go through lane, though. He should go from lane here, because like this is obviously, at this point, there has to be a ward somewhere.
Yeah, we look at it, though.
There is.
Yeah, there is. There's a ward in the brush as well. So it's just safety across the board.
He's been spotted. Now can Barney act very well? Oh, here's
KaKAO.
KaKAO.
A surprise. Cap in the brush. Maybe going to keep this going. Leaps forward, does land the snare, but sOAZ is here as well. A lot of damage in. Doesn't get the chance to reactivate.
sOAZ double buffs.
Oh, moving forward. Could we get a little bit more? Level 4 versus level 3. Everything about the top lane.
This just got spicy. Both these guys have double buffs. Oh, but it's frozen. This is... sOAZ will have to TP on a minion, so it's okay. Actually, he can turn the freeze into a push. Fizz should actually start attacking the creeps if he can. Now sOAZ has control of the wave, because if Alphari trades, again, spells do not draw minion aggro, but auto attacks do, and Fizz is an auto attack trader. He'll get stuck in a minion wave. Look at this again. It's a little early from KaKAO, I think, and he misses the boa, which is huge. If KaKAO actually plays that correct, this is a super smart counterplay.
And it's so close, right? One more auto, a reactivation on the Lee Sin Q, and that may have been the kill.
Yeah, and honestly, Broxah could expect this, because KaKAO has been jungling for a while, kind of end up on top side, and you need to respect blast cones. In the old school meta, obviously, you would have to flash in there, but blast cones make it so easy to counter gank.
Consistency, though, coming in as they get vision control on the bottom side for Misfits, but Alphari, man, we have to watch. That KDA, maybe not the most impressive scoreline, but was a key factor in the Misfits win.
The casual 33 CS lead at 10 minutes.
Not going to be so fortunate this time around, I don't think.
But I like it. Fnatic is fighting back. They're no longer just sitting back. Their bot lane has been pushing out quite well, even CS. But again, it's a pressure game. When you know both the junglers are busy dancing in the top lane, you can just push, push, push all day. Now sOAZ pushed in, and instead of staying and waiting for Alphari to push out, goes for a little roam. A bit of a deep ward where you don't expect it. It could spoil KaKAO's gank path.
And this is exactly the same sort of thing that we saw from Alphari when he was dominating the top side of the map. sOAZ playing this one by the new book, you know, looking for that deep vision, looking for a greater advantage for the team. Once again, the man who was willing to sacrifice himself in the draft phase.
They're back. Drakos, sOAZ, I'm going to catch that wave. And again, Broxah is lingering around the top side. I really liked his adaptation here. Just asking Rekkles and Jesiz to stay put. Don't be the hero. Just trade, trade, trade. It was actually the Misfits bot lane I had been pushing the entire time.
That's how they got that a little bit of vision in the jungle, although it was inevitably cleared out by Fnatic.
Yeah, but you don't need to know where the junglers are. They're going to be top lane anyways this game.
It's not about the bottom side. It might have to be, though, as we move forward, because right now Hansam is dominating in terms of CS.
Look at the ping, Drakos. They found KaKAO. They know exactly where he is. They're even pinging him in fog of war. That's how good they are, Fnatic, right now. Again, one single ward placed deep in the jungle can give you so much information.
Right now, Caps and PowerOfEvil trading blows. PowerOfEvil missing a few too many skill shots up until that point.
Okay, level 6 is big, too. If KaKAO runs to the mid lane and you get the QE combo from PowerOfEvil, potentially flash QE onto Caps, Rengar one-shots to LeBlanc.
Caps, where are you going?
Top lane, of course.
Leaps in. Oh, just a honey fruit. We'll be able to leap back to safety just in the nick of time to make it back to lane.
Oh, look at this. It's a beautiful mirror from the early game.
Ooh.
But
there's a ward.
That's a team that knows about lane ganks, and you can... It's really hard to bait this out if you're Alphari when you're not 6 yet.
Yeah, but KaKAO, he's waiting in the wings anyway.
Alphari gets a farm. Moment of reprieve.
But this is proactive play from Fnatic. This is what we wanted to see. Yes, they are spotted out. Yes, Misfits is ready with the vision, but Broxah is making an impact.
And they can actually do this same gameplay pattern where they just push out top and then just run mid. All Nautilus has to do is press R and Syndra. She gets knocked off, can't cleanse out of it, into QR from Lee Sin, and she's dead. Like, you can actually leverage pushes into advantages in other lanes. That is a window where Fnatic can do it. They've also survived the most rough part of this matchup here early game, Nautilus to Fizz. They couldn't do what Faxi did yesterday, which was get that sword kill.
And we've seen, saw in NA after our EU broadcast, what happens if the Nautilus can get ahead, if he can get a few more items under his belt. Suddenly Fizz isn't that lane bully.
What happened? I was sleeping.
You were sleeping? Basically, he got like 3 items. He got Glacial Shroud and Warden's Mail and Spirit Visage before Fizz could finish his Triforce. So if you get fed, Fizz is not a problem.
He got all 3 of those before Fizz finished Triforce?
Fizz may have had, I think he had Triforce Tabby at that point.
That's nasty.
That's pretty nasty, I agree.
Poor Fizz.
Poor Fizz. Good old Lorlo. It's the year of Lorlo. Lorlo. That's a hard name.
Yes.
Well, Misfits clearing out the vision.
Oh, here's KaKAO. Lane gang. Double lane gang. These guys are mirroring.
Placing down the control ward does kind of give away the intent. KaKAO leaping forward. Now leaping onto Jesiz. Jesiz potentially the one coming out. But here goes Broxah! That's big! Broxah goes in for the kick. Hansama's got 1 tick, and he's taken down. It may just be enough. There's another one. Rekkles picks it up. Fnatic going in.
It was all just a ruse. Broxah was downloading KaKAO in the first game. He is just outplaying him every corner. This Elise pick was much more rapid in terms of ganks, and his Rengar super telegraphed, and Broxah is really going to town here.
So good to see, but here comes the chain gank. Moving forward, depth charge, does get the stun down, but they're just going to keep the ball rolling. In comes the TP, though.
Oh, BW's just going to ulti. That's a kill for Alphari.
Damage, leaps in, playful, Trickster, gets knocked down. Misfits fighting back, but Caps isn't done yet. In goes the fish, up goes Caps, at least for a moment, but he's going to grab another one. Can he make it out to safety? Power just backs off, and that's a nice trade for Fnatic.
That's a nice trade. 2 for 1 in the mid lane. I think 2 for 0 in the bottom lane, plus turret, plus red buff on Rekkles. Fnatic are taking off.
This is exactly what they wanted. Fnatic were the team who were supposed to fall apart. They were the team who were supposed to come into this broken. But when everything else was falling down, it's Broxah who showed up.
Yeah, and this is just hubris from KaKAO. Look, there's a control ward in the river. You cannot afford to do this. Double kick. Hansama, he buffered out of that kick, but he was still stunned. He can't reply. He's a scaling Ezreal on a tier. Why are you even ganking this lane? And then here, the synergy. I like what PoE does onto sOAZ. With Caps, he has the presence of mind knowing that PoE just blew out his cooldown, so he can take down Fizz.
Has the time. Nothing to be scared of. All the balls elsewhere in the lane. Doesn't have to worry about the stun. Dodges so much with the flash as well. A game of inches there in the mid lane, but it works out for them in the end.
Yeah, over 3,000 gold now, 2.8k right now for Fnatic.
Much bigger lead, and despite the team not working well together, one man who's still showing up is Rekkles on this Kennen time and time again. You can see why it's a comfort pick.
You gotta run through the scenario, right? Like, what can you gain if you're KaKAO on that gank? A kill on some turret pressure. What can you lose? Karma level 6, no spike. Ezreal's just a channel. You play versus double CC champions with level 6 spikes in Kennen and Zyra. Plus, Lee Sin is unspotted and snowballing. This is just a major flaw in, honestly, Misfits' early game thought process. And what a beautiful punish from Fnatic.
So good to see. Fnatic now absolute control of the bottom side, and they know it. Misfits know it too, however. They're shifting their lanes to the top side of the map. They don't want anything to do with this Kennen and this Zyra.
They were predicting the rotation potentially, but Fnatic, they actually go bot again. And this punishes the top laner super hard, because when you go into the straight scenario, whatever top laner is ahead will just stay ahead. And it really rewards tanky champions. Because this is in the history of lane swaps, why tanks are much better in lane swaps. Because they do more on a single item in comparison to the game rather than DPS champions. Because you have to fight everybody in the game when you're a DPS champion, and on a single item, you'll run into people with 2 items, 3 items. As a tank on a single Sunfire, you're still somewhat useful.
And it's Nautilus too, right?
Yep.
And that CC always has value. It doesn't matter if he dies in 2 seconds, if he stuns up 3 people, but Fnatic, they're moving in to take down an inhibitor tower. This is an insanely fast game coming in from them.
And this is Misfits again. They're sticking into habit. Okay, bot tower goes down. What is enemy bot lane going to do, Drakos? Rotate into the top side. And Fnatic surprised them by just going bottom lane again.
We talked about this as a weakness for Misfits. When the game speeds up, where are they? They are no longer the calm and collected team. They start to look a little bit lost. When Fnatic throw away the playbook and make aggressive moves, Misfits just don't know what to expect.
Yeah, and this is also... I mean, is it the fantastic level 2 gank from Broxah, or is it Alphari not respecting that if he plays with Ignite and no Flash in this brutal of a matchup, that he could expect to gank early?
At the end of the day, Fnatic, maybe a shade of them former selves.
Or here's sOAZ.
Still not a team you can disrespect.
Knock, knock.
The depth charge. PowerOfEvil trying to get down a little bit of damage. Jesiz leaps in. They are locked up. KaKAO will get knocked up, but nothing else going to be there for follow-up.
But it's all a ploy. It's to enable their captain. Because Rekkles is in the top lane. He wants no part of this. That's why they drafted a tank on sOAZ. He can become a support, just be mid. It's Rekkles who's taking over the side lanes right now.
We talked about it. They need someone to put in the mid lane.
Nautilus?
Nautilus. They got Rekkles on the top side.
They never saw it coming.
Yeah, this is going to grow that gold lead, although nice Ezreal will mitigate some of the wave pressure here, but it's not enough.
No, it's not enough. It'll just bounce the wave, if anything. Alphari and Hansama sharing farm, looking for a reaction. And Fnatic are just going to do the same thing here again. Push to the next turret. They're so much faster on these plays that they can always go for 2 turrets instead of 1.
And they're not waiting on the scaling Ezreal. Kennen's hitting hard, and Kennen's hitting now. Hansama just waiting for some damage in the kit. And he's...
That's such a bad place to be in. You know, tier and then Cutlass. It feels bad, man.
Feels weak. No Trinity Force. No Muramana. Still so far away from those item spikes, but Kennen spikes on that first item, and Fnatic continue to keep the tempo game going. Continue to find these big leads. 3 tower advantage. KaKAO's playing with his food in the mid lane, says, hey, you can spend some time fighting me. My team will just take the map. Misfits just continue to walk away. Tiny trades. They think, hey, maybe we got a tower, but Fnatic consistently taking two, doubling down on anything Misfits get.
Yeah, this is where the Rocket members in the studio are probably getting a little bit scared because the momentum boost this game in this fashion could provide the Fnatic lineup. That is definitely something to be scared of.
Fnatic took some risks in game one. They tried banning out PowerOfEvil. It did not work. This time around, tried to shut down Hansama, and already you can see he's struggling. Behind in the tempo. Him and IgNar, no longer does IgNar get to roam free. They are forced to stick together. And it's shutting down a lot of what Misfits are trying to put together.
Yeah, last turret still standing. PoE needs to look for the QE combo into KaKAO's gank, but his on the hunt is on cooldown. And now it's actually Misfits that have a hard time finding engages because they're so pressured in. To see if Jesiz can get the necessary amount of deep vision with his Moe with Zyra to find picks. It's a moment of reprieve. The lanes are really long right now, so it becomes the minion game.
Absolutely. Well, Rekkles not playing that game quite yet. Waiting in a brush, hiding, looking for an opportunity to find a pick that he knows will open the map up.
They're basically bleeding Misfits, right? They've hung them up upside down. They're suffering because both side lanes were pushing in. If you can actually play a game state where you let both side lanes push into you and you don't lose anything mid, well, you're fine. You're just denying double side lane CS from your opponents, forcing Misfits to actually go for a 5-man Herald. This is how dire the side lane states are for Misfits right now.
And this is not good. There is a Zyra, there is a Kennen, and
there's
yes,
a
it is not an AP
Nautilus
Kennen.
looking for a play here. Bottom left side.
Ping, ping, Misfits, where are you going to go? Broxah looking for the engage. Misfits for now, forced to back off, but Fnatic are 5 members strong.
Fnatic should send one guy to the mid lane right now, and that is Rekkles again. Get the push. And these 3 remaining members, they just want to zone Misfits from walking into the mid lane. Cap's dewarding, should not be hitting that ward. He has a control ward anyways.
Misfits playing so safe, giving him the respect. Hansama leaps out. KaKAO has to leap over the wall. Looks like he's gonna get taken down. Nice Sonic Wave coming in. Depth charge comes out. It buys time. Fnatic get a tower. Massive lead.
Look at the top lane. That wave has been pushing into Fnatic for well over a minute. Rekkles did not go to push that out. Instead, he joined his team for pressure, forcing Misfits into, honestly, a forced error. And now, somebody can just walk top and pick up that juicy, juicy wave here. This has been just denial across the board.
We talked about it. Fnatic, they are playing for everything. Misfits, it's just pride. Misfits maybe feeling a little too confident coming to this game. We didn't see Broxah once. We don't have to respect him this time around, but that is not the case here in game 2.
Yeah, look at KaKAO. Just gets sniped out, double chains. PoE has to flash, which is huge. The turret falls. Flanking control. Over 5,000 to 6,000 gold right now in the lead this early in the game.
Oh no, PowerOfEvil. We've been taken down. Push the skill button, but not enough skill to take out Jesiz.
Can't even kill the support anymore, man. That's when it's over.
I mean, you're buying Merc treads, man. This is survival instincts kicking in. It's no longer about who can carry the game. It's about can you survive to the late game and pray.
This is PoE getting Origin flashbacks. It's like, no, wake up. It's just a dream. This is going to make a very exciting game 3, honestly, because it all comes down to that early gank. Like, it really is a butterfly, snowball effect. Shutting down Alphari in the side lane. So has much larger impact in this game. Fnatic is in control of the side lanes themselves. Misfits have no answer. I do think the Rengar was a bit of a gamble here. Maybe an early release could have done more.
Especially when it was so successful in game 1. We'll watch this one more time.
Yeah, sOAZ not wasting any time. Even though PoE has no flash, they're just not taking any risks. They're willing to expend summoners. You could debate the usefulness of it, but then again, you're not in their spot, right? These guys are on the verge of being eliminated for a chance of playing in playoffs for the first time in 9 splits.
And that's a stain you do not want on your record. Fnatic doesn't want it as an organization, and you,
as
the majority, yes.
Of course, they all haven't been there, but sOAZ was there in the start. Rekkles has been there for
I mean, think if you're Broxah, if you're Jesiz, fresh to the team, who are they going to point fingers at? It's a rough place to be. That's
not
insane.
The coach.
Professional.
He's gone.
He's gone.
You know what to say, man. When you're pointing fingers at somebody, there's 3 of them pointing at yourself.
Yep. Well, Fnatic, they saw Misfits try to take down the Rift Herald. They decided it might be a good idea for them to pick it up as well. And they have the luxury of doing it because they own this map. They'd be taking a Baron right now if we were any later in the game. But they're going to have to wait. They're going to have to bide their time at least a little bit.
I wish Baron came back at 15 minutes. I used to love seeing the cheesy plays. There was a team in Season 2 called Na'Vi, with, I think, with Curb, Citizen Wayne, I think, back then as well. They were so incredibly good at doing 15-minute Barons, and they were known. It was their trope. Like, it was their thing, right? If casters had to make a storyline for a team, they were the 15-minute Baron team. Still knowing that, teams could not prevent them from doing it. It was honestly quite impressive.
Take me back, Krepo. Take me back to the good old days, the 15-minute Barons.
Fnatic was actually, for quite a while, also a really great early Baron team when it was a 20-minute Baron. Obviously not this iteration in this lineup. Rekkles.
Oh no, flash in, all but dead on the side, but Rekkles doesn't manage to walk away with anyone. Caps leaps in, leaps out, he's gonna get one for himself.
Oh, nope, that's gone. The Merc Thread's not paying off here, Drakos. In hindsight, PoE is wishing he picked up some Magic Pen, because that's a low HP member on the Fnatic lineup twice in a row now.
And this is desperation. Fnatic can burn their cooldowns, they can play aggressive, but Misfits have to make everything count. And right now, the only thing they can count is the gold lead stacking up against them.
Fnatic are running out of objectives to take. They need to look at jungle camps and be happy with that right now. They're essentially waiting for Nashor to spawn. Let's see how their Baron setup goes. Can they get the necessary control wards and an upgraded sweeper? Jesiz just hit level 9, so he can upgrade that in base. 3 control wards coming out from Jesiz here. Let's follow the setup.
The best part about this is Rekkles with the lead, split pushing into side lane with the Rift Herald buff. Fnatic, we can disagree with that win condition all we want. You can be skeptical of if it's the right choice, but they play to it. They play to it 100%.
Oh yeah, but he's Bork Runans. Nobody's going to deal with this guy in the side lane. He's essentially a top laner right now. He's level 11. Let's see, where's Alphari on the map? Can't quite spot him right now, but Alphari's level 12. Rekkles is level 12. He's equal level to the top laner, probably sitting on way more gold. Yeah, 7k for Alphari. And Rekkles is sitting on 9,000 gold.
Well, and imagine being Han Sama right now. You got a Blade of the Root King, you've got some mana in your kit, but you are 2 levels below a Kevin. All right, Kevin.
Kevin? What's Kevin doing here, buddy? I hate it when I'm 2 levels below Kevin, man. That sucks.
Oh, ooh. All right.
Yeah, that's close.
Audience really fans of thriller movies, you know? Yeah. Little jump scare there.
KaKAO.
Oh, Broxah.
Can we get an ooh?
Kicking for more. Caps. Going forward.
Ooh, yeah, there we got it.
I had to make me do it too. It's close.
Definitely close here.
And I got to take us back to game 1 again. 2.5k gold lead just about for Misfits in game 1 at 20 minutes. When Fnatic win, they win hard, Krepo. Oh, man. 31.7 to 40.5.
Let's see at this Baron bait. Are they going to bait as long as Misfits did, or will we see like super rash Baron? They need Kennen there though. DP sit down. Caps as a LeBlanc. Not the best Baron taker. He's a really good assassin on the way there. It is obviously the only way Fnatic can lose this game is a Baron throw, so that's why they might be hesitant.
Oh, IgNar in trouble. Broxah back off. Broxah goes in. Is he going to make it out? No. Yes, makes it to safety. Alphari pulling back. The team is simply too far ahead. PowerOfEvil doesn't have any mana. He's got the blue buff, but it is not enough. Down goes KaKAO. Caps on a killing spree. Doesn't even matter. No one can stop the Baron now.
Yeah, that's 2 kills on the board. Good patience from Fnatic. You're going to take a victory Scuttle Crab on the way. Nope. Mercy for the Scuttle Crab. No mercy for Misfits, so this is going to be a free Nashor here for Fnatic, and they're all but certain to take it to a game 3 here at the end of the spring split. The last series that we're playing. We're going all the way to game 3.
Amping up, man. Look at this level of performance. Making Misfits look like a bottom tier team, taking them down, not giving them a chance.
Damn. All right. Calm down, Drakos.
Look, man, 10k gold leads.
They got cheese, man. It's okay. They got level 2 guys.
What, they got cheese? That's a cheese?
No, it's a creative use of gank pathing. Here, IgNar doing the classic. I'm going to flash Lee Sin and actually put him in the back of the fight. sOAZ, much larger presence in this game with the Nautilus. But we can't just think it is just a comp. It does come down to the early game. It was literally decided on that single play. Alphari could not flash out because he did not have flash. He was playing Ignite Fizz.
Small decisions, small mistakes. Call it cheese, call it what you want, but was not prepared for Lee Sin to be up in that lane at level 2.
Nope.
It all got worse from there. Fnatic relentlessly breaking down the towers, the over-aggression from Misfits on the bottom side when Rekkles flashed in at that level 6 mark, and now everything is in favor of Fnatic.
Yeah, and I'm super excited to see what's going to happen in game 3 in terms of drafts. Maybe just hit the Kennen ban. Just throw him off. Don't give 2 comfort picks in a row to a team like Fnatic. Even if it's not the problem, it could be the solution.
Kennen, the Lucian, that's all Rekkles has really been playing. See what else he has in the kit. Caps waiting over the wall.
Just buffing the creeps here. Split up the Misfits, play 1-4, and then just group up, engage, take it home Fnatic. 12,000 gold in the lead right now.
The tank that's ahead. Lock into the Iron Solari on sOAZ. Hansama locked up, but makes it out.
And there is no tank on Misfits.
They did not have the luxury of falling behind in this game, Krepo. PowerOfEvil forced to just sit in the mid lane, play with some spears there, and pray that the LeBlanc is not strong enough to dive him.
Oh my god, PowerOfEvil.
Ult comes out, Caps gets knocked down to half. sOAZ doesn't connect onto the tower, now walking out.
Casual stroll to the enemy base in front of 5 people.
KaKAO smells an opportunity, they leap in onto the tank.
Because why not?
Redemption comes in. Hansama takes a bit of poke, Caps flashes forward, flashes right back out with the distortion.
One more wave coming, it's about 10 seconds out. That's going to be the push Fnatic need. They're looking to break the second inhib turret here.
We saw in game 1, 2 inhibs is all it took to blow the game open to ensure the death of Fnatic. Now it's Fnatic turning around here in game 2. Looking to get their second inhib. Rekkles, lightning rush forward, ready to ult at a moment's notice. PowerOfEvil leaps in. Broxah maybe gonna get taken down. No, they turn it back. Caps moving forward. One member already dead. Alphari's been taken out. Rekkles on the front lines. The exhaust. It doesn't matter. They're moving forward. He gets the double kill. sOAZ more than happy to tank it up. More than happy to be the hero the team needs because it's Rekkles. It is Caps who are dishing out the damage.
Yeah, in a swift fashion, Fnatic bring down the guillotine right here to Misfits. 51,000 golds in the pockets at 25 minutes. What a statement game from Fnatic.
25 minutes, Krepo. Such a fast win. Such a commanding victory for Fnatic.
And now the pressure's on. Caps is like, wait, we're not smiling here? Looks over to Rekkles, who has this super stern look on his face. I don't know, man. Like, I get it that the pressure is there, but just like join in with your team. Be a leader. Like, I feel like every semblance of emotion gets shut down on that stage when everybody has to like have this super grim, super serious look on their face. Like sometimes, yeah, just let them smile.
Let them grin. Earned it. Commanding win coming in. Broxah, ooh, hero of the hour. sOAZ as well. This draft feels like Fnatic understand now. They say, hey, not every one of us can play the hero. Someone has to bite the bullet. Someone has to suck it up. Someone has to play the tank. Someone has to play the utility AD carry. And when it all comes down to it, sOAZ
multiple bullets were bitten.
Yeah, multiple bullets.
Poor KaKAO couldn't find an opening. Rengar early just has maybe one gank at 4. I think the game could have changed around if the counter gank worked in the top lane. When he used the blast going into the brush and he landed that bola, maybe then they could have found a Broxah. Or if you just went a little bit later, had Alphari going for the bait check, maybe that could have worked. From that point on, when sOAZ received that second kill plus double buffs, it was just too easy for Fnatic at that point.
You give the tank the free lane, suddenly 1 point of pressure is gone. They just get to walk in, they get to keep going. Fnatic now 2-4 in game 2s where they've lost the game, slowly improving that ratio. But it's
game 3, man.
I mean, game 3, I
actually don't know
who gets, either way.
I don't know who gets the side choice here, because that's going to decide so much here. Like Misfits
got it in game 1, so I believe
they have it in game 3.
They have it in game 3. Yeah.
So they should have it in game 3 then. Misfits, do they get? I think they definitely go purple side again. You definitely want like third pick top lane. You want the opportunity to maybe last pick counter pick your top laner, or do what they did in game 1 is on the second rotation of the red side, which is basically the third pick, lock in a strong top laner for Alphari, remove the counters, and just play again around the top side because both bot lanes have shown they can go even enough to play around that side. And then KaKAO, he also needs to stop going for super telegraphed ganks like in the bottom lane. Triple kill right there, and that's why Fnatic really broke open the game.
Massive risks taken by the side of Misfits. Well, we'll see how they adjust. Fnatic just refuses to give up this series. Shocks, we're going to a game 3.
Yes, we are, Didi. I am actually really, really happy that we are going to game 3 because the tension is on, and Fnatic, before we get into the nitty-gritty, at least we saw some grinta from them. We saw some aggressiveness in the early game. We saw that they wanted it, and that for me wasn't the case in game 1.
This was a Fnatic that showed their fangs. They definitely realized that, hey, if we get an early advantage, we know what to do with it. And the fact that Broxah, he was just going off in this game. He was all across the map, and he was a big part as to where Fnatic were able to succeed.
It's the good and bad thing about Fnatic drafts, obviously, is that when they get ahead, they can look really, really good. We've seen that a few times. We even saw it against G2. And that's when the jungler, comes in and he gets them going early on, because then suddenly they can actually really snowball the games. Like, I don't think we've ever questioned Fnatic's ability to play like from ahead. It's more like when they would start falling very far behind, they would often fall apart.
Picks and bans wise, of course, we saw the Kennen first pick again, the lock-in, but then the difference was that they put a tank up in the top lane, which was actually the only real difference they made in this draft, right, compared to game one. So is that a very important factor? Would you rather see sOAZ on that tank, knowing that, you know, it's not as 100-0. If he falls behind, he can still at least do something?
I like the fact it wasn't as focused on just pure split push. It's still a lot of split push in it, like the Kennen, the LeBlanc, but I think it was more well-rounded because of Nautilus, which made it easier for Fnatic once they had the advantage. But we can't say it was because of the pick and ban phase. They got super far ahead. It was because of their jungler.
It was, and we're going to take a look at some of those early game moves. The first visit Broxah makes is to the top lane. Fizz, of course, doesn't have a flash. He's playing the Ignite teleport, so he is a target.
Yeah, so please ward. You know he can do 2 camps and he can gank you before 3 minutes.
And this is also the risk that you run when you have an Ignite top lane too. It just makes you an easier target. It was almost like shooting a fish in a barrel, right? Like the fact that he was so overextended, very easy kill up in the top lane. This is where things really start to snowball. This was actually slightly after a play that had already happened down in the bottom lane where Fnatic had gotten themselves 2 kills after what was a very telegraphed gank coming out from the side of Misfits. It was very easily read from Fnatic. The fact that Broxah was easily able to respond and get themselves the advantage down there is where you start to see what Rekkles can do when he has a lead. This is the dueling power of a Kennen, and I think the casters said it very nicely. He effectively became a top laner in that game. And
this is where, again, the Lee Sin pick is so good. We liked it in game 1, because again, it's a takeaway from KaKAO. It's his #1 pick. Now, Mitch Krepo quickly talked about how KaKAO, you know, he takes some risks, he gambles. I think this is one of the big reasons for me his Rengar just rarely works. Because Rengar is a champion where once you go in, you don't go out. And he goes in a lot. He takes these risks. He gambles, which he can do on things like Lee Sin. He can repel in the air on things like Elise. He can't do that on stuff like Rengar. And it cost him so much in the early game. He gave double buff to sOAZ. There was a kill down bot lane, or 2 kills, sorry, and a bot lane tower after a gank from KaKAO early. All those factors, when you're a Fnatic and you are mentally maybe somewhat broken after the first game, and you get off to that kind of start with their composition that can force fights, that just sets them up to succeed. And that's why they can bounce back so quickly in this game and just kind of stomp Misfits.
Absolutely bounce back. And that means that it's now all on the line in game 3. They can do it. They have their faith in their own hands. So it's probable that we're going to see a similar comp once again. And we said, well, maybe this is the only thing they can play now. So what does it come down to then? How can Misfits shut that down, Vetty?
Well, I think that we need to see Alphari go back to something that he can have a little bit more success on, along with a jungler that can better support Alphari. Like, I think Deficio says it nicely in the sense that KaKAO is an individual that likes to take risks. And if he has a champion like Elise or Lee Sin, Elise, I believe, was even available in this series to just better set up for Alphari to succeed, I think that's what Misfits need to play around, because we've seen time and time again, PowerOfEvil is doing absolutely fine in the mid lane. He can easily hold caps. In the bottom lane, they're consistently going even, and I think that you just play around who seems to be your strongest player at the moment in the form of Alphari.
I agree, 100%. I think for Fnatic, it comes down to the same kind of early game. If they can outplay Misfits and get some of these kills early, they can definitely do exactly what they did in this one. I think they will struggle if we go to 20-40 minutes where it's dead even, because that's where Misfits have shown as a team they probably will be a bit more coordinated than what Fnatic is doing, and it's going to be tough then for Fnatic to play this split pushing style.
The other option I feel for Fnatic is if they can find a way to shut KaKAO down or put him on something that he's not as comfortable on.
Just leave Rengar open.
Yeah, I mean, that's one option, right? But it definitely feels to me that KaKAO is almost like the linchpin when it comes to playmaking, right? We've criticized Misfits throughout the season for being a very slow team, for not a team that is very easily able to close things out. And I think that KaKAO is the reason as to why that happens. And I think that if you can control him, it can give a lot of freedom for Fnatic to play their style.
Right.
Ben Lee Sin.
Ben Lee Sin. Vetty? You said, though, after game 1, you said there's no way Fnatic's coming back.
I did not expect it.
So, did not expect it. It was against all odds, but they are hungry. They've shown that they want this. And it all comes down to this. Fnatic are just 1 game away from the spring playoffs. The final fight is coming your way in 3.5.
Alphari has been locked up. He's trying to dive out. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it. Broxah taking his time on the Sonic Wave.
He has to wait for the flash.
Gets
and he finds it
first blood. Resonating strike, the auto attack. Man, so safe, giving him the respect. Hansama leaps out. KaKAO has to leap over the wall. Looks like he's going to get taken down. Nice Sonic Wave coming in. Alphari pulling back. The team is simply too far ahead. PowerOfEvil doesn't have any mana. He's got the blue buff, but it is not enough. Down goes KaKAO. Caps on a killing spree.
Burn. They're already low. I will kill them if they come.
Fnatic bring down the guillotine right here to Misfits. 51,000 golds in the pockets at 25 minutes. What a statement game from Fnatic.
25 minutes, Krepo.